Hello everyone, this is part 31 of What If Naruto Was Like Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto and Sasuke stared out at Itachi, who was simply standing there watching them both. They had left everyone else in the dust when they tore through the trees to reach the clearing, and they were simply observing each other for the time being. Itachi finally spoke. "You've both grown so much over the last few years." Naruto chuckled humorously. "Yeah, we're both full-grown men now." "Itachi, ask your brother if he's gotten laid yet. I want to see your expression actually change for once." "Alright Dobe, enough joking around," Sasuke stated as he slowly started drawing his sword. "Are you going to help me? He's still got the Mangekyou Sharingan, and even now I'm not sure I'm ready yet." Naruto shook his shoulders out and transmuted his arm blade. "Sure. I've still got a grievance against Itachi for the A-kicking he gave me the last time around. By the way, where is your fine, fish-faced friend? Kisum won't be joining us this time," Itachi stated in his dull monotone. "I will be more than adequate to deal with you both." Naruto shrugged. "Your funeral." And with that he dashed directly at Itachi, only to see out to the side as Sasuke leapt into the air, inhaling sharply. "Kaiten, Gukakyu no Jutsu, fire release. Great fireball jutsu." Itachi immediately returned fire at Sasuke and clashed fireballs with his little brother, only to take a quick S to the side from Naruto, who was using Sasuke's attacks as a form of misdirection to get close to Itachi. Itachi burst into smoke upon taking the blow, revealing that it was a Kage Bunshin. "Sasuke team, eyes open." Naruto yelled at his teammate. "Ha ha, very funny Dobe," Sasuke replied as he landed from his aerial attack. He tossed a kunai behind him as Itachi rushed from the surrounding trees that ended up being blocked by a kunai held in Itachi's hand. Sasuke rushed in and clashed his sword against Itachi's kunai, but he was abruptly yanked away from the confrontation by Naruto. "What the hell?" Boom! Itachi's body exploded, leaving a massive crater in the aftermath. Sasuke looked at Naruto in surprise as he let the Uchiha go. "Why, how did you know?" Naruto kept his eyes peeled on the battlefield around him. "Because that's my move." Naruto clapped and transmuted a dome of earth around both of them, enclosing them from sight. Before anything could be done about it, the dome receded back into the ground to reveal Sasuke and Naruto charging out from it. Naruto growled, "Where the hell is he?" Sasuke kept his eyes working around the area, but he didn't sound any better off than Naruto did. "Calm down, Naruto. Just be ready for anything." Naruto scoffed. "Easy for you to say. You have eyes that let you see everything coming in slow motion. All I have are good old-fashioned reflexes. Hey Sasuke team, when can I have your eyes?" Sasuke had to do a double take at Naruto. "What?" Naruto groaned. "Oh come on. Kakashi has one. Just put it in your wool or something. When give one or both of my Sharingan eyes to Naruto Uzumaki to implant into himself at his leisure. I would love you forever team." Sasuke turned around and shouted at Naruto, "You are the stupidest person in the entire world. We're in a fight right now if you hadn't noticed, and you're talking about my damn Sharingan." Naruto got up in Sasuke's face. "Don't talk ugly to me, it was just a suggestion. I wouldn't run out of chakra the way Kakashi-sensei does, and who knows what Kyuubi-chan's chakra would do to it. If I had a Sharingan eye I could wear Itachi's are out in no time flat, fact. I'm not too sure about that Naruto-kun." Itachi appeared seemingly out of thin air, locking eyes with the blonde shinobi and his little brother. "You're both trapped. My Sharingan still trumps yours Sasuke, you can't escape." Naruto and Sasuke smirked painfully. "In that case boom." Both Naruto and Sasuke detonated in a massive explosion, shrouding the entire field in debris. A loud clap sounded out before a bright flash of light shone out and the ground separated to reveal the real Naruto and Sasuke had been hiding underground. Both boys jumped out of the hole and surveyed the damage. Naruto grinned and yelled, "Don't steal my damn moves Itachi. I was using Bunshin Daibaku, Great Clone Explosion, as a trap technique since the first time I used it. I already knew that jutsu before I saw you do it, Naruto-kun. Itachi said as the smoke cleared. That's one move that the Sharingan cannot copy. Now let us continue. With that, Itachi vanished from sight and reappeared between both boys. Sasuke was able to dodge Itachi's attempt at a strike, but Naruto was unable to see it coming and ended up eating a punch. He simply ground his feet into the earth and held his ground as he and Sasuke locked eyes for a moment. Naruto and Sasuke both attacked. Naruto at him with his arm blade, Sasuke with his chokuto. Both attacks see into Itachi, but his body turned into a mass of crows, leaving Sasuke and Naruto's blades to clang against one another. Naruto growled at how fast Itachi still was. Come on, magic eyes, use those peepers and give me a location before I get kicked in the face. Sasuke's eyes turned and he whipped out two shuriken, both of which were dodged by Itachi as he came in to attack Sasuke. Naruto jumped in between the two Uchiha brothers and swung away at Itachi with his blade, which Itachi parried with a kunai. Naruto bit his tongue and clapped his hands before spitting the bee at Itachi's face in a fine mist, blinding the Uchiha and taking his powerful eyes away from him. Sasuke jumped over Naruto and through Itachi's body, revealing it to be another clone. Naruto glared at the trees surrounding him. Man, F this. Let's just burn him out. Sasuke looked at Naruto like he was an idiot. Do you have any idea how much chakra that would waste? I'm not a damn human power generator like you. A grin crossed Naruto's face as he pulled on a white glove. I didn't tell you to do anything, just stay out of my line of fire and everything will be cool. I'm sick of you Uchiha spamming fireballs all over the place. Check out my answer to that. Naruto aimed at the trees around the outskirts of the field. Flame alchemy. Naruto rubbed his index finger and thumb together, causing friction that made a pop noise as a spark formed and expanded into a massive flame that Naruto sent directly into the trees surrounding both he and Sasuke. In a matter of moments, Naruto had burnt up the foliage around them, forcing Sasuke to sweet drop. I think your Iwa girl was right when she called you a weapon of mass destruction. A set of shuriken peppered the landscape where the two had been standing, forcing them to separate. Naruto turned his head towards the direction he was going to land in and cursed when he saw Itachi standing there staring at him. Even though he knew absolutely what would happen if he had looked into Itachi's eyes, it was far too late as he had already done it when he looked in that direction. Naruto found himself in a dark empty space, and then he realized what the genjutsu was. His body was seemingly made of paper, and it had been set on fire from the ground up. He bit back a scream and simply looked straight ahead of him defiantly. He couldn't see Itachi, but he was certain that he was looking right at him. Naruto then felt a foreign chakra invade his system and break him of the genjutsu as he focused on Sasuke, snapping his fingers in front of his face to get his attention. You really are still a sucker for a genjutsu, Dobe. Sasuke said as he looked ahead of him at Itachi. Sasuke. Itachi started, you had a clear opening at me and you use it to get your teammate out of trouble. What happened to your hatred of me? Sasuke smirked. What is it, Itachi? Upset that you don't matter. The Dobe brought up an excellent point yesterday. As long as he's alive and still has the QB in him, you have to come after him sometime, and whenever you do, anytime, any place, I'll be right there in your face to stop you. There's no rush. As long as Naruto is in one piece, I'll have all the shots at you I need to put you down once and for all. That was touching, team, Naruto said with a faint sniffle. I knew you cared. Now let's finish your brother off and go get Gaara away from these Sasuke looked at him. You've got a plan. Naruto scoffed. Plan? Who the hell do I look like? I'm a direct combat specialist. Leave the plans to the smart people. We run over there and mush his face into the red clay. That's my plan. A simple plan for a simple Dobe. Sasuke said as he channeled chakra to his right arm. Lightning crackled around it, bringing up the chirping of 1,000 birds. He turned his attention to Itachi. The last time I tried this you were fast enough to catch it. Let's see you catch it this time. Sasuke took off at a blinding speed at Itachi, who simply stood in place preparing to do just as he had done 3 years ago and catch Sasuke's attack barehanded. As Sasuke drew near, something felt off to the rogue Uchiha, and this was given good reason when the jutsu around Sasuke's hand extended forward ahead of him and Itachi through the sea. What? Sasuke smirked. Chidori Iso, 1,000 birds sharp spear. Itachi smirked a smile. You've come far, little brother. But you've let your hatred falter. Itachi's eyes took on the shape of the Mangekyo, and his face took an insane degree as he attempted to make perfect eye contact with Sasuke. Clap. Then I'll just have to pick up his slack, won't I? Naruto rushed past Sasuke's Chidori variation that held the dangerous man in position and placed his left hand on Itachi's head. A look of surprise was the last facial expression he was able to make before his brains were literally blown out of the back of his head. Naruto removed his hand from the man and let his body slump face first to the ground, letting Sasuke see just what he had done to finish the fight. Sasuke looked down at the body. How long have you been able to do that? Naruto sighed and looked at his left hand. Since the day I knew how to use circle-less transmutations, the 3 basic sequences of alchemy comprehension. Knowing the inherent properties of the molecular or atomic makeup of a material, deconstruction, using energy to break down the physical structure of the identified material into a more malleable state so it can be more easily reshaped, and reconstruction, continuing the flow of energy to reform the material into a new form. I stopped at step 2. An understanding grimace crossed Sasuke's face. I see. Naruto clinched and released his fist. I never used it on anyone before, not a real human being anyway. Sasuke nodded wordlessly but kept his eyes on the downed body. That was too easy. If that were the real Itachi, even if we had both somehow survived, there's no way we would be standing right now. Naruto frowned. It seemed like Itachi. He then worked his jaw. He sure hit like Itachi, that's for damn sure. Go ahead and ask me how I know. The rest of the retrieval party landed and saw the destruction from the short battle and saw Sasuke and Naruto standing over the body. Sakura ran up to both boys. What happened here? Are you both alright? Akiza whistled at the scene. Gosh, Fullmetal, can you go anywhere without drastically altering the terrain? She then looked at the body at their feet. You actually used that move on somebody. The only time you've ever used that move was when I was using Iwa no Yoroi. What the hell did it do to an actual human body? Naruto pointed down. You can clearly see what it did to a human body. Sakura cringed at the sight. You pulverized the inside of his skull. What a horrific jutsu, to simply straight out destroy organs like that. Naruto kept staring at the bee on his hand from his barbarous extermination, not a jutsu. Kakashi looked at Sasuke and Naruto. Why did you two run off to engage this man alone? What if it had been someone that you two couldn't have beaten? Sasuke looked at Kakashi. It was Itachi. I ran off. Naruto simply backed me up. But this isn't Itachi. I'm certain of it. Chio walked over. The boy is correct. This is not Itachi Uchiha. She turned the body over to reveal that the face was utterly different from Itachi's distinctive appearance. This is Counselor Yura. This man was in command of Suna's defense for years. To think that Akatsuki had influences this far into our village. You two were fighting Itachi Uchiha? Akiza asked in a voice of surprise until she got a look at her boyfriend. She went next to Naruto and nudged him when she realized he was still looking at his hand. Are you going to be alright, Fullmetal? Naruto looked up at her and nodded. Yeah. I'll be fine. It's just, that was a really violent K. I knew what was going to happen but I never pictured so much gore from it. And I used that on you to practice doing it on the fly. What if your armor hadn't been in the way when I was doing it, Akiza-chan? Akiza pulled Naruto into a hug. Better him than you. I would much rather deal with that man's death than yours. We're ninja, Fullmetal. Death is basically par the course, you know this. All of your K can't be pretty and clean like you're used to. Sometimes they have to be a little nasty like this one. And it was just training, that was why we did it the way we did, so you wouldn't mess up and K me. Naruto sighed. Fine. You're right. There's no time for this anyway, we still need to go get Gaara. Sasuke kept looking down at the body double of Itachi. Yeah. The team continued its pursuit of the Kazekige's K swiftly to make up for the time lost from the fight with the shapeshifter. Sakura looked at Sasuke in concern. Sasuke-kun, are you sure you're alright? Sasuke nodded. Yes, I'm sure. But that battle didn't do anything to reassure me at all. He didn't even come close to going all out. He didn't do anything that reminded me of just what the real Itachi is capable of. I'm still not ready yet. He subconsciously clenched his fists, something that Sakura noticed. Sasuke. Kakashi called, getting his attention. You keep on forgetting. When it comes time for you to truly face your brother down, you won't be alone. You'll have each and every one of us behind you the entire time. Kakashi gave him an eye smile, and if you don't think you're strong enough, there's only one thing you can do about that. Train until you are strong enough. Sasuke nodded and a small smile worked its way to his face. He would be ready when it came time to go up against Itachi for keeps, he would have to be. Naruto was also getting testy, but for an entirely different reason. We got sidetracked by that useless fight. If only I could have finished my seal, I could have found Gaara and dragged him back home in time for dinner. Come to think of it, who the hell could beat Gaara in the desert? You couldn't force me to fight Gaara in the desert, and I all but neutralized him last time around. Akiza spoke from directly next to him. Well, we're going to find out in just a moment, aren't we? Get your head back in the game, Fullmetal. If we were fast enough to stop them from taking the Kazekige's Biju, then who cares? Chio spoke up. Aside from apparently Itachi Uchiha and the man that defeated the Kazekige over the village, there is also the man that defeated Kankuro. The legendary puppeteer of Sunagakure, Akasuna no Sasori. He defected from our village shortly after it was revealed that he had been making puppets out of human beings. The blonde of the party grit his teeth, and this guy has Gaara. Damn it. Naruto finished kicking himself in the rear for no good reason, and the group of 5 Konoha ninja and 1 Suna ninja continued to press forward following the trail to Gaara. Eventually they came to the entrance of a cave and were swiftly joined by a second team from Konoha to back him up, led by Kakashi's pug Pakken. Kakashi. Maito Guy stated as he led his team towards Team 7, we wasted no time in getting here after getting word that you required assistance to save the Kazekige. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go in there and kick their already. Aki's equipped as she summoned Seki Kiritateru and started heading towards the entrance before being pulled backwards sharply by her arm. Fullmetal, what the hell? Naruto walked ahead of her and silently pointed to a seal, getting her to blush in embarrassment. Oh, never mind then. Naruto inspected it and frowned. This is the Gofu Kekai, 5 seals barrier. We aren't going to just break through this thing, it will repel any attack we send against it. Even if we all used our strongest jutsu at the same time, it would just mess us all up instead. Chio walked up and examined the seal alongside Naruto. This seal has 5 different weak points counting this one. We need to find the rest of them and tear them off at the same time to bypass this barrier. Team Guy volunteered to head out and remove the other parts of the seal, leaving Team 7 to simply sit and wait for a signal that they were in position. Akiza sat and watched Naruto pace about. What if we weren't fast enough and they got the Biju out of him? Naruto gave her a serious look. Then they had better develop the ability to teleport, because they damn sure won't be walking out of here if I have anything to say about it. His face softened at that. Akiza-chan, don't allow the curse of your weapon to take hold here. Please promise me you won't activate it the way you did when we beat those guys outside of Konoha. Akiza nodded. I promise. The only reason I did it then was because I couldn't K my opponent and I wasn't sure that I could hold out long enough for you to show up. If I used it, I would be just as likely to turn on others around me as to fight my opponent. You're the only one that can calm me down when I try it. Naruto frowned. I don't like when you use it. You stop worrying about your own well-being and end up half-ass afterwards. We have an entire 2 squads backing us up, so there won't be any reason to use it. Worry about yourself and everyone else, Fullmetal. Akiza dismissed as she stood up. We have a job to do, and I'm not letting those bastards do to anyone else what they've been trying to do to you. She then laughed slightly. Besides, I doubt the guys we're fighting this time are immortal. Kami, I hope they're not immortal. Naruto was about to let out a chuckle when the barrier fell. Alright, that's our cue. He shouted as he abruptly leapt to his feet. Kakashi nodded. Let's go save the Kazekige. As the group rushed inside, they found a hunched man and a man with a blonde ponytail waiting for them. Chio simply glances at the hunched man. Sasori. The man spoke in his gruff voice. Well, look what we have here, Deodara, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki and my elderly grandmother. The thing that was pissing Naruto off, however, was that the blonde man, Deodara, was sitting on Gaara like a chair. Oh yeah, Urias. Naruto growled out. Nope. Deodara replied. That's him, he said, pointing down at Gaara. Gaara. Naruto shouted. Don't let this sit on you. Get up and squish him like an ant already. The blonde man rolled his eyes. In case you didn't hear me the first time I said he's S.C. He rapped on Gaara's head with his fist a few times. he's not going to respond, kid. That's what people do. They just sit there, Naruto simply stared wordlessly with his mouth slack until he steeled his features and transmuted his arm blade. I'm going to see you into ribbons, and then I'm going to make the other guy beg Kami for forgiveness before I end your miserable lives. Ooh. Angry, Well, it's been a blast your Kazekage and extracting his biju, but we're both busy men and have places to be so. Deodara threw something at the ceiling and blew an opening from it before forming a massive bird of clay and jumping on it with Gaara's body and flying away. Naruto growled, it's not going to be that easy, you son of a b. Naruto clapped his hands and placed them on the ground to raise a platform for himself to head out through the opening after the blonde Akatsuki member. Kakashi cursed, damn it. Sasuke, you're with me. Sakura, Akiza, stay here and hold off Sasori until Team Guy can get here to back you up. With that, the two Sharingan users channeled chakra to their feet and ran up the pillar that Naruto had raised to lift him outside the hideout. The two girls nodded. Sakura placed a pair of black gloves on her hands. Can we really hold back an S-rank criminal like this all on our own? Akiza spun her halberd around in her hand and pointed it at Sasori. Well, Fullmetal said that one of you was going to get C into ribbons. I hope he doesn't mind if I make you out to be the one that takes that little punishment. I'm better at it than he is. Sakura looked at Akiza incredulously, the way she had just basically called out a dangerous criminal while keeping a straight face. Chio moved between the two girls and faced Sasori down with them. We can defeat him. Simply keep your wits about you and stay on your toes. Sakura looked at the determined look on Chio's face and the confident look on Akiza's before putting one of her own on. Right. I've been training for years so that I could stand beside Sasuke-kun and Naruto when he came back. This is my chance to prove that all that time wasn't wasted. Okay then. Akiza stated, you two are supposed to be medics. Well, I'm your direct combat specialist here, so here I go. She rushed at Sasori, who simply stood in place waiting for her until she got too close and an iron tail came from behind Sasori's body in an attempt to impale the girl. Akiza leapt aside and thrusted her halberd out. Hirogeru, extend. Seki Kiritateru's blade extended towards Sasori, who simply turned his back and let the blade bounce off. Akiza growled as she forced her blade to return to normal. Tut. Another one of you freaks. Why can't Fullmetal be pursued by people that are normal and easy to K? It would certainly make our lives far simpler. Despite not taking damage from Akiza's attack, Sasori's robe was in tatters. The girl squinted and saw parts of some kind of face on his back. Since I don't like waiting and apparently neither do you, little girl, I'll end this quickly. Come and try it then. Akiza beckoned him to fight her with a one-handed gesture. Sasori started, my grandmother and the pink-haired girl seem like they would get in our way, so I'll just get rid of them first. From the wrapping around his mouth, Sasori shot off a rapid stream of senbon at Sakura and Chio. Luckily, one of the main things drilled into Sakura's being by Tsunade during her training was how to evade danger and keep herself from taking damage, as she had to be the one to be able to heal everyone after a battle was over. She and Chio jumped around the area, dodging the projectiles. Akiza cursed, get over here now. Doton, Doryuheiki, Earth release, Earth-style wall. She made 4 rapid hand seals and spit out a stream of mud that composed into a solid wall in front of her. Sakura and Chio quickly made their way behind it for cover, where Akiza had words for Chio, he's your grandson. Your grandson is a douchebag. Chio looked at her dryly, noted. Now what kind of plan do you have for handling him? Akiza scratched the side of her face sheepishly. I was never much for any kind of plans, even ones made up on the fly. Spontaneous plans were always more Fullmetal's thing. I just know that I'm supposed to take the pointy end of Seki Kiritateru and stick in somewhere vital inside of that guy until he stops moving. Sakura sweet dropped. Wow, you two really were meant for each other, weren't you? The banter was short as some kind of torpedo-looking thing landed on their side of the wall. Oh, that really can't be good. Chio's eyes widened. Get away from it now. The piece was rotating rapidly and shooting wooden cylinders that then opened to fire large amounts of senbon out at all 3 Kanoiki. Chio got behind the other side of the wall as the other 2 girls were forced in other directions by the way the senbon were distributed. Sakura nimbly avoided the senbon due to her medic nin training. Are you alright, Akiza-chan? She shouted to her teammate. Akiza grunted in affirmation as she batted away all of the senbon with her rapidly rotating halberd. I'm fantastic. I love sitting back and batting away senbon like mosquitoes. This is starting to piss me off, she said with a tick mark forming on her head. Chio called out to the girls evading the needles, take care to make sure that you dodge every last one of those senbon. Sasori coats all of his weapons in poison, be careful lest you end up like Kankuro did. As the volley of metal needles down, Sasori spoke up, quite correct. I'm certain that the boy was in agony after our little run-in, a shame that I couldn't take him and use him as one of my human puppets, but it seems to me that after I finish you all off you'll all do nicely on that front. A quiet laugh was the response from Akiza as she made one-handed hand seals. Allow me to respond to that in the following manner. Doten, Iwa no Kujiki, Earth Release, Rock Attack. Akiza finished her seals and swung the free arm she had used to make the seals at Sasori to get mounds of rocks to shoot out of the ground at him. Sasori's iron tail extended and intercepted the rocks before swinging out to the side to intercept Akiza, who used her jutsu as a diversion to get in close and attack his blind side. The tail impaled Akiza, getting a gasp from Sakura, who was watching until the body on the end of the tail turned to mud and oozed off of the edge. Maybe this one has some talent. You don't know the half of it, Doten, Ritsudo Tenshu, Earth Release, tearing turning Earth Palm. The ground around Sasori started to spiral inwards on him, sucking him in and attempting to bury him alive. The pressure from the manipulation of the ground brought the chunks of the cave down around everyone inside. As pieces of fallen stone hit Sakura and Chio, their crushed bee turned to mud. XXX. Outside of the cave, Akiza stood with her hands against the wall and a smirk on her face, and that's how you handle that. Who needs backup? Chio shook her head, it's not over yet. The body that you saw wasn't truly Sasori, it was his favorite puppet Hirako. Sasori was inside of it, using it like armor. Though it has changed since the last time I saw it. Akiza frowned and picked her weapon back up. Well then, at the very least we cracked open the tough shell, now we can get to the soft, squishy, vulnerable puppeteer on the inside. Maybe he'll be easier to now. She led the way back inside of the cave. The three women looked around for any sign of Sasori. Sakura spoke up hopefully, maybe Akiza-chan's last jutsu really did finish him off. Akiza frowned, no, from just one run-in with these teams I can safely say that none of them that easily. He's still in here, there's no way a guy like that is going to just see and run without at least trying to get a payback swipe at me. I did break his favorite puppet after all. You're half right, a youthful voice called out amid the rubble that Akiza's technique produced. Hirako was my favorite regular puppet, my favorite personal creation. But he wasn't my very favorite puppet overall. Chio stared at the figure that rose up in surprise. Sasori, Kami, you don't look a day older than you did 20 years ago. His true appearance, a quite youthful-looking red-haired man not a day over 20 years old at first glance, and from the sound of his voice, Sasori looked over all three women in a cool, calm fashion, and you look as decrepit as one can get without being buried in the ground, Chio Abasan. He then pulled a scroll from his Akatsuki robe. Now, let me show you my true favorite puppet. It was quite the challenge to get, and Abasan, you would be the most familiar with this one. In a puff of smoke, the puppet draped around Sasori forced Chio's jaw to drop at the sight she was now seeing. It can't be, the Sandaime Kazekage. Sakura gasped in shock and Akiza slumped her shoulders in resignation. Oh crap. I'm going to kick Fullmetal's a when we get out of this for making me fight a reanimated cage. I'm certain that he's not having nearly as rough a go of it as we are. XXX. Naruto simply stood atop the cave that the girls were fighting in alongside Sasuke and Kakashi. He let out a smirk as he felt the tremors coming from within the cave. At a girl Akiza-chan. It soon left his face as he kept staring up. Why don't you come on down here and we can talk about this? I promise I won't disembowel you with my auto-mail arm. Just give me Gaara back. Deodara stared down at Naruto with an amused look on his face. Gee, with such an enticing offer like that how could I ever refuse? How about no? He patted Gaara's body which was right next to him on his clay bird. I like this guy right where he is, and if I came down there what would stop you from disemboweling me with your real arm? Naruto let a ghost of a smile cross his lips for a second. Oh well, you got me. His face hardened. Well if you're not coming down to me. Naruto clapped his hands and transmuted his arm blade before clapping again. I'll be coming up to you. He placed his hands on the ground to force a piece of ground up that shot him into the air at Deodara. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.